All right. I believe I am live here. So, what we're going to do today is Jonah was a good boy, and he's a little guy out in the mid of the country, pretty much. And he wanted to see this guy painted, and he wants to paint along. So, and if everybody's expecting, good. Okay, great. I believe I am live here. You know, this top-notch job, don't. We are going to paint with a little boy here. What we're going to do today is Jonah hand here. He's a good boy, and he's a little guy. This is the guy that he wanted to paint. So hopefully he got his mid of the country, pretty much. And he wanted to see this guy painted, and he wants to paint along. To get this done as much as we can. And if everybody's expecting, good. Okay, great. All right, so I believe I am live here. You know, this top-notch job, don't. Let's see, do you have any brown? So, any little boy here. What we're going to do today is Jonah hand here. He's a good boy, and he's a little guy. This is the guy that he wanted to paint. So hopefully he got his mid of the country, pretty much. And he wanted to see this guy painted, and he wants to paint along. To get this done as much as we can. And if everybody's expecting, good. Okay, great. All right, so I believe I am live here. You know, this top-notch job, don't. Let's see, do you have any brown? So, any little boy here. What we're going to do today is Jonah should be a lot hand here. He's a good boy, and he's a little guy. This is the guy that he wanted to paint. So hopefully he got his mid of the country, pretty much. And even though I don't have, and he wanted to see this guy painted, and he wants to paint along. Get this now it should be fine. And if everybody's expecting, good. Okay, great. All right, so I believe I am live here. You know, this top-notch job, don't. So, little boy here. What we're going to do today is Jonah hand here. He's a good boy, and he's a little guy. This is the guy that he wanted to paint. So hopefully he got his mid of the country, pretty much. And even though I don't have, and he wanted to see this guy painted, and he wants to paint along. Get this now it should be fine. All right. If everybody's expecting, good. Okay, great. So I believe I am live here. You know, this top-notch job, don't. Still. So, little boy here. What we're going to do today is Jonah hand here. There we go. There you go. That should do it. Should be no more sound loop. All right, so I'm going to get going here. Fixed. Okay, good. All right, so what we got here is one of the crewmen for Rum and Bones. So all we're going to do, and let me put my additional light on him. There we go. Is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some brown paint, Jonah. And what I want you to do, and don't worry about being messy, take a little on your brush, and right where his pants are, we're just going to put some on his pants. And that's all we're going to do. If you get his boots, it's okay, because we're going to paint over his boots as soon as we can. We want to get all the way around and just paint, and don't worry about getting the paint up there or anywhere, because we're going to fix all this in a little bit. I don't know why I'm getting that in there. Okay, because his shirt is brown too. Well, all we want to do is just get a little brown in there. And you'll see that he has like a little wrinkle thing here. We don't want to get any brown on that. But if you do, it's not a big deal. We'll fix it. So I'll give you a little time to do that. I'll take a little more brown. Any kind of brown will do. And we're just going to do that. So, how's that, Jonah? Were you able to get that done so far? And I'll go as slow as you need me to go. But we don't want to go past your bedtime. So, I'm just going to touch it up a little bit. And you can see exactly where I got it. So let's take a look. It's right from this part underneath. You're going to put the brown in there. And you're going to put the brown in there. And if you notice, I touched some of those octopus tentacles, but that's okay because we're gonna fix that too. So there you go. So I'm gonna put this down for a second. I'm gonna clean this brush. And here's what you're going to do next. We're just going to have you take some silver, I think. I think that's what we're going to do next. Just some silver, and we're going to paint the two blades. So I'm just going to take a little out. And then all we're going to do, very simply, is take our silver and just put a little on this blade. Don't worry about getting it all over the place. And we're going to put a little on this blade. And we're going to turn it around and put some there and put some there. There. Seems pretty simple, right? And there we go. So far, so good. So he's got a big octopus on there, and I can see why you wanted to paint him first. And don't be afraid to get it a little bit on the handle there, because we're going to paint over that soon anyways. But we're going to get to that octopus in a minute. So we got our brown on there drying. We got our silver for our blades, and that's drying, and that's doing pretty good so far. So next thing that we can do while those things are wet, and it isn't a big deal, is we can take and put some flesh on there. So hopefully your dad's got some flesh color, and maybe we'll hold off on that. Maybe we'll go, no, we'll do the flesh now. That makes the most sense. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to clean off my brush. Make sure you clean your brushes real good. And all we're going to do is find a brush that I like. There we go. Take your flesh out. Now tell me if I'm going too fast. So I have a tendency of going too fast. I'm going to take a little bit of this, put it up there. Take a little water. Mix that in. There we go. Close that up. Probably going to have to do this a couple times, but that's okay. So we're going to take the flesh, and don't worry about missing anything. You're just going to, over that area, just push it in there. Yep. Yep, there we go. It's going to take more than one coat. And even though we got that big octopus there, that's okay. Don't worry about hitting it. We just want to get that color in there. And don't worry about his scarf that goes around his neck either. All we want to do is just get it in there. And just go over his belly a few times, because his belly's hanging out. And we're going to do his arms too. Jonah is keeping up so far. He just put the paint on heavy. That's okay. Tell him to just take his time, and he doesn't have to put them on heavy. Just go nice and easy. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to slow down just a little bit here because I do go a little too fast. So we're going to have to take a little break here to dry, and I'll show you something else that I'm working on. So now we want to take and put the paint on his arms. Don't worry about getting it anywhere else. Okay? All we're trying to do is get around and get his hands and his arms and stuff. There we go. And his other arm, that's not his arm up there. The octopus is holding that one. So we want to get his hand over here. And we're going to have to put a couple coats of this on. That's not a big deal either. So we'll work that in there. And there. And right in there, because his hand comes around there. And don't worry about being messy. It's okay. Even I'm messy. We get to clean all this up. So there. And let's just get a little more water here. And just a little more paint. Better to have too little paint than not enough. I mean, than too much. All right. So, yeah, Lily, we're painting. So, let's pick this back up again. And you see I'm just going to go over his arm again. That old cat don't stop meowing. That's okay. She's old. Uh-huh. It's okay. She's all right. She's just letting everybody know that she's there. She's fine. Don't worry about it. I decided to do this in the kitchen here because I had everything out working on a project instead of taking it out into the shop. All right, so it looks pretty messy, but that's okay. We don't have to be very perfect. So, Jonah, we've got this drying. We've got silver on here. We got the brown pants. Oh, look what I did. I got a little of the flesh on there, but that's okay because we can go back over that. See, everybody makes mistakes. Yeah, even the cats let me know that I make mistakes. And she loves to talk. She wants to be on TV. That's what it is. All right, so make sure you get behind here where his arm comes. And this is going to be messy at first because there's a lot of areas that we're trying to cover. But we're okay with that. Okay, so we're going to put this down for a second. And you let yours dry for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something really, really cool. Because while that's drying, we could take a look at some of the monsters I'm working on. And here's one of them. And you can see he's got a black belly, but he's gray on top. Because what we're going to do next with him is something pretty cool. So while we're waiting for that to dry, maybe I'll just show you how we paint the inside of his mouth. Because his mouth's got to look like that. So how do we do that, you ask? Well, we take some fire dragon bright. And he does look like a fire dragon in a way. Yeah, well, I know. I'm trying. I'm trying. And this paint is very, very thick, so what are we going to do? We're going to thin it out a little bit. And how do we do that, Jonah? Well, I'm going to show you real quick. Because you get to see this dragon get put together, as well as listen to the cat just bellow and bellow and bellow. So we're going to put some of that here. And it's going to take a few coats for this to go on. And I'm just going to mix a little water in there. And it's going to look horrible the first time I put it on. But let's put it on anyways, huh? So you see how loose that is? That's okay. That's how I want that to be, the first coat, because I've got to take all that black out. And because this thing is mostly gray, I want to take and get this first coat on and put it on nice and thin. So it doesn't matter if I do 2 or 3 coats. And it doesn't matter how the first coat goes on. So all I want to do is get that underneath there. Oops. See, I got a little happy there. That's okay. That's why I still got to go over both colors. And there we go. We got his ugly tongue and everything. Now, the next thing is this whole area here so we're going to just kind of draw that out a little bit, because all we want to do is get this first coat on here and just kind of bellow it out a bit. All this is doing is exactly what I want it to do. Oh my goodness, that cat. That cat is annoying beyond words. See, Mommy's even trying to get her to stop, but she won't. So I don't mind doing this, because what's going to happen is I'm going to go over this with a gray as well. But I kind of want to just get this base coat on here. So when the next coat goes on, it'll go on a little bit better. And that's all I want to do. Just trying to cover area. There we go. And he's got that area in there. So we'll do that. And the same thing on the other side here. And we'll feather a lot of this in. And what I mean by that is that, there we go. See, kill two birds with one stone. So far, that's all I want to do with him. So we're going to put him aside. And I didn't really use the paint that much, which is good. So let's clean that up. Let's get back to our guy here. All right, the next color that we're going to want to use is, I think we're going to make our little octopus friend here. What should we do? I don't always prime black Joe. Okay, since we have Mr. Octopus here, I think we're going to make him purple, because I've always wanted to see a purple octopus. So that means that we have to do something else with his scarf there. I wonder what. What color would be good? Well, we can make his sash white, or like a Xandri dust or a tan, but I don't think that would go good with purple. So let's go for red. So let's do that. So we're going to get a red out. Let's see, what do I got here? I do have red in here somewhere. That's open. There we go. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our little brush here, and we're going to turn our palette a little bit because it's dirty. And I'm going to take a little bit of red and put it right there, because that's not going to look too bad with purple. And just take a little bit of water it down just a hair, just a little bit, just enough on your brush. Mix it in there good. Close this back up. And so, Jonah, let's see what we're going to do here. So his little sash here, what you want to do is work from the middle. See how I'm starting from the middle here? Okay. And then I want to work my way to the edge. From the middle to the edge. Nice and slow, Jonah. Nice and slow. You don't have to go very fast. You're not trying to win anything yet. We'll worry about those contests when you get older. And as you see, if we just take our time, it all comes together. Just like that. There we go. And you can see the brown's dry enough. So that looks okay so far, I would say. Now he has a scarf around his neck. So we've got to take our paintbrush and get the red there. It's still the same thing. You got to be careful not to put too much paint on. There we go. Look what I'm doing, nice and slow. There we go. There. That looks about right, I would say. Now remember when I told you that we were going to need that brown again? Yep, we're going to need it again, all right. But we're going to let that dry for a second there. Now let's turn around and take a look. Oh boy, that guy's really on top of him. So we'll go back to that in a minute. We're going to go and get our brown in a second here. In the meantime, we got to start thinking about that guy. about this octopus up top here. That's going to be our big, that's the thing that's really going to make this model shine. So why don't we start painting him a little bit. Matter of fact. Oh, we start painting him a little bit. Okay, take your little brush there, and I've got a purple, a good purple. Let's make him purple. We may have to do this a couple times. So we're going to take some paint out, at least I am. I'm going to put it in here. And hopefully we can get this done at least tonight. Yeah, I'm going to try, Lily. I really am. To the point where, let's put a little water in there. There we go. Okay, so now let's paint that big, mean old octopus. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to paint over him twice. So don't put the paint on too thick. I know you like to put it on thick, but we can, even if you put it on thick, it's okay. So we're just gonna go over our octopus friend here, and we're gonna get all his little tentacles and stuff like that. I can't even say that. We're gonna make sure that we get him real good. And yeah, globbed it on a little bit, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm not doing a pro job here. We're just having some fun today. So there we go. I hope you were a good boy at school today. So I really don't, I know you guys are asking questions maybe, but I'm really not even looking at the screen today. Tomorrow, Mimi wants to have a Q&A. I'm debating it, and I'll answer any questions there, or if I get a little time here, I will answer a few questions that you may have. Right now, I'm just concentrating on making sure that we get this done for Jonah. So there we go. So forgive me, I'm not being rude and ignoring you guys. But the most important thing is just making sure that we get as much of this done as we can. Alright. Oh boy, this guy. Yeah, I know, Lil. Oh my. This guy's got a lot going on here. Why is he on his head? That's what I want to know. So you can see that he's got all these things that come all the way in the back. And don't worry about if you miss and you get on his shirt or something like that. We'll take care of that. That's the easy thing. Cleaning stuff up is okay. It happens. Everybody does it. There we go. And Tammy, if you want to turn on the TV, you can turn on the TV. Oh, okay. Like I said, I'm invading her area today. The Queen Tammy. Here we go. And just make sure you get every spot. Because he's purple. You like purple, don't you, Tam? Well, I made a purple octopus for you. Damn, he's not much one for the camera. Well, then again, neither am I. If that was the case, what am I doing on YouTube, right? Okay, let's get that one in there. Yeah, there's a couple tough ones in here, Jonah, so you got to be kind of careful. But we'll get him. There we go. Boy, there's a lot of them. There's a big octopus on his head. So there we go. We got a big octopus on his head. Let me make sure I got all the areas here. Well, I got the purple out. Yep. There we go. And I'm gonna get in there a bit. There we go. Boy, that guy. I wouldn't want an octopus on my head. What are you going to do with an octopus on your head? I bet you smell bad too. And take a lot of showers. But that's not going to make the octopus leave because he likes the water. Maybe if you take a hot shower, he'll think it's like boiling water. Then you have calamari. Boy, that was a bad joke, huh, Tam? Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I was still, I didn't lose it. I've yet to tell a good joke. My wife does not think I'm funny at all. She thinks I'm funny looking. Okay. All right. You see how you just take your time and, oh, see, I missed. It's hard to see it all. Okay, so that comes up in there. And this comes up and around there. See, I almost missed that. All right, Jonah, so here's what happens here. That little strip there, you got to make sure you get that and get it all the way into his thing here. He's got things all wrapped around his arms. And in the back, he's got little ones that come out here. So we want to just kind of do that. So how's that? I think that's pretty good so far. And I see where I missed with some red. And that's okay because I can just clean off my brush. And I still got some red on my palette. Since I see you guys, I caught that one comment. Jonah is a little boy who likes to paint, and I think he's 3.5, 4 years old, and he always watches me paint. So I told him I would take one day, and I would paint with him. And I let him pick this figure, and this was the figure he wanted to paint. So that's why we're painting this figure. Okay, so I almost missed this little spot here, Jonah. That would have been bad. Well, not bad, because you can always come back. That's where they tie his end of his little scarf there, right there. So we're just going to go over that again. He's got the scarf that goes around his face. And there we go. So What next, you say? Well, why don't we touch that up? Right now, if he looks like this, Jonah, and you got him looking like this, oops, see, I'm looking at the camera, then you're doing pretty good. Then you're doing pretty good, young man. What time is it? See, and it only took us a half hour to get all the base paints on. And I'm going slow. So, why don't we let this dry for a second, Jonah? And then, well, you know something? If you got a little bit of that brown, and you got any on his thing there, well, I don't need it. I got some here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the brown, because I made a mistake. So let's take a look at the mistake I made. Right there. See that? Oh, boy. You think I'd be better than that. But if you got a little brown, and if it's not, if you didn't put it on thick, which I think you probably did put it on thick according to your dad. So why don't we just go over all the brown areas real quick. There we go. All right. And since we have the brown out, there's a little spot over here you want to try to get the brown in. But very, very carefully. Very careful. Okay. And if you can't get it, don't worry about it. If it's too close, you can leave it. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change anything on this guy. There we go. All right. And I'll just get this black vest on. All right. Not bad. Not bad. So we're going to let him dry for a minute. How's that? I'll put him over here. We can watch him dry. We can watch paint dry. So. Joe, do you have any washes? Okay, so. Well, you remember this guy, right? Well, he's all dry now. Okay. And so, we're going to take that orange again, and we're going to put another coat. It's probably going to take about 3 coats before we get exactly what we want. Exactly what we want. So, I'm going to take, drop a brush. Which brush do I want to use? Okay, I'll use this one because it's a little thicker. And I'm going to put that right in the orange spot where we had it. And all this is a layer paint. So this time, I'm going to go in there just a little bit thicker. I'm not going to worry about all the edges. I just want to get that nice and brightly in there. Nice and thick. Oops, made a mistake. It's okay because I got to go over that mouth with a gray paint. And there we go. Can actually do this. Yes, I am. And sometimes when you get paint on something, you can just wash it away. Get a little water on it. Save yourself. See that? Took it right off. Wiped it right off. Was able to wipe off that little area. So now, let's just throw a quick area here. Getting that a little thicker each time. And it's streaky, but I want it streaky for now because this is not going to be the whole color that we are going to put on here. This is just a base color that's going underneath. And all I'm doing is just filling in little areas like there. And I can come across here, see how it starts to fill in a bit? Because I'm not worried about how this is going to look right now. Because the most important thing is what comes to follow. And there we go. Yeah, you can make whatever you want. Go ahead. Make as much noise as you like. That's awesome. No, you won't. Okay. All right. So we got another coat on. It looks horrible right now. Okay. So we've got a little hole here. But that's okay. So, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to look like that. That's exactly what we're going for. And we will get it there. It's just going to take a little doing. Okay. So let's go back to what we were working on, Jonah. No, I do not. I just mix black or brown with lots of water. Okay. Well, here's the part where we would kind of like do a little wash on them. So instead, what I think I'm going to do, let's see, Joe. All right, we're just going to touch up the flesh a little bit. How can I do this? Well, I'm just going to do the wash on them so a little guy could see. But just take a little flesh and remember I told you we were going to go over it again. We just want to make sure that we got all those fleshy areas all covered up. Anything that we missed, if we got a little bit on there, or we got a little over the purple there like I did, and there we go. And I want to get his arms over here. And what did I do with that pot? Oh, I just grabbed a little. Alright, we'll just grab a little bit more. And that's all we'll need for the old boy here. Alright. So, again, let's wipe some of that off. And just and into his belly, his face, into his arms, and just try to get the best we can. There we go. Alright, So now, if you got any brown on his boots, it'd be a good time to take some black. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of black here and hanging out. And I'm just going to go around the area here and make sure that his boots are black. Just like this pirate's soul. Even though he's a good pirate, he's still bad because you're a pirate. There we go. And just get his boots nice and easy. There we go. Don't worry about getting around there. There we go. We're looking pretty good. Oh, he's got eyes there, huh? Oh. Let's see. We'll fix that in a minute. We just gotta let him dry a little bit more, and then we'll put the eyes on the old boy there. So we got black on his boots right here. All right, Jonah. And then we have red for his sash, brown pants, flesh for his face and his belly and his arms, purple octopus, and silver sword. But let's go a little further. What do you think? We'll do a little bit more. I'm going to show you a few things. Because if you get a real small brush and you take your time, I think you can do this. I'm going to take a brass or a gold, either one that you might have if you have it. And I'll just put a drop in here. Yep, that's all I want. I know it's out of focus over here, but that's so I can hold up the figure real close. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take and we're going to put a little brass around that sword, around the hilt of the sword. See what I'm doing there? Gives it a little bit of color because it's brass. And then right on this one, there's a handle here. So we're going to make that brass. And watch out for his little tentacle here. I can't say that word. But we're going to put that and make that brass too. Okay, now what else can we make brass? Well, I'm going to show you. If you look, he's got a little armband here. And all you want to do is just take your brush and just go nice and light over. And there you go. There's one armband. And here's the other armband. And we want to get the other side. So you want to go here. And just do the best you can to get it all. There you go. And we'll make the handle all gold too. Why not? There we go. All right. That's looking pretty good. What do you think? I think it looks all right. So Joe, how's he doing? Is he hanging in there? Most importantly, is he having fun? So we're just going to let him dry for a second there. I'm going to wait for your dad to reply here. Let's take a look at our dragon while we're waiting for your dad. He's drying pretty good. But you see, we really want that color to be nice and thick in here for this dragon guy. He's having fun, but he's starting to get tired. All right. Do you want to... He is sick again today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, you want to leave it off at there, Joe? Tell him I can do this again, too. Maybe we'll paint some monsters or something if he's not feeling well. Especially if he's getting tired. Because he's been doing this for almost 40 minutes. 50 minutes, actually. Yeah, I think we'll stop right there for him. Poor little guy. Okay. All right, Jonah, I hope you had fun and we got it this far. So what I'll do is I'll set up another time and we'll finish them, okay? And I'll show you how we'll finish them. And Dad, just go out and get some brown washes and tan washes. I mean, black washes. And then we'll finish this guy up and we'll start to detail him. And I'll show him how to put the eyes on the octopus, and we'll get everything to really come out really, really nice. So he really enjoyed it and wants to do it again, he said. Okay. Only this time, why don't you pick out some big monsters and we'll have some fun. How's that? Um, or, if you want to do something else, we'll finish this guy and we'll start something else. How's that? Jonah, I hope you feel better and I hope you had fun. And that's what this has all been about. It's been all about you, my little friend. So you get better and you go get some rest. And thanks for painting with me. I really enjoyed it. All right. So with that said, I will go get some washes. Yeah, that way we'll finish the figure with him and I'll show him how to do that. And then it'll come out real nice. This way you can let it dry real good. So I'll figure it out sometime next week. Hopefully you'll feel better. But you still got to be good in school. If you're not good in school, we're not gonna do another one, okay? So I'm gonna be asking your dad, and he'll let me know if you're bad. So with that said, Jonah, I hope you feel better. Everyone, thank you for watching. I was surprised everybody uh, watched this, and thanks so much for watching Jonah paint. So with that said, I'm going to say goodnight to everyone and hope you all have a good evening. Victoria is actually thinking of doing a live chat tomorrow at 6 p.m. And I'm sure Janice will ring in. So we'll see how that goes. I may step in there, but I think I'll be here doing a lot of painting if I'm going to be doing the Q&A. So I'm going to let Victoria do it. He wants to make sure you know that he has been nice at school since you talked to him, Rob. Okay, you keep being nice, and I'll make sure that we keep painting together, and I'll set up a time. We can't do it every week, but we'll try to do it whenever I get something cool and we can do it. Good night, everyone.